What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. Once again, it's your boy EMillio, EgBar. And I want to say thank you to each of you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me here once again on the show. And if you haven't done so yet, man, do yourself a favor, do me a favor. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at nonstopradio212. Or you can also get at me on my personal Twitter page at the EMillio EgBar to stay up to date with the latest news and highlights from your favorite hip-hop shows. And for those of you out there that like to be on the gram more than you like being on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck they calling it these days, who knows? You can hit me up on IG at EJP_entertainment to stay up to date with everything related to EJP Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we are now officially at the part of our show where we are joined by tonight's special guest. And this is the second time we've had this young man come and join us, man. The first one was definitely one for the ages. For those of you out there who recalls, we had a really, really good conversation and discussion the first time we had this young man on. And now for the second time, we have him back here tonight. And second time again, this man sends me a photo with some kind of Boston area-based team memorabilia. First, it was the bum-ass Celtics. No, matter of fact, no, it was the bum-ass Red Sox. Now it's the bum-ass Patriots. And I don't know, man, what's good with this dude, man? Like, we gotta find out right now. Yo, Ferr, we got him on the line, ladies and gentlemen, so we about to ask him that question right now. Jay, welcome back to the show, man. How's everything?
Yo, that was the best intro. I didn't expect that coming. Everything's going good, bro. How are you doing?
Man, everything good over
I didn't even
here, man.
That.
We was all good until you had to send me that fucking picture with this damn Patriot logo on the hat. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, this dude, man, like, yo, you really know how to push buttons over here.
Yo, I'm like sending subliminal messages, low key.
I knew what it was. I knew what it was when I saw it.
Yo,
that's
funny. I didn't even realize that. That's funny.
Yeah,
2 in a row for you.
I'm like, yo, man, this dude right here.
Like a selfish jersey.
I'm like, yo, this dude right here, man, he got his way of trying to rub salt in the wounds. Because those of y'all out there, y'all know notoriously that I am a Jets fan. Yes, I am a fan of the New York Jets. And our teams just faced off. We got a 15-game losing streak against these fucking bums. And this dude gonna send me a picture with a New England Patriots logo on that hat, man. But other than that, man, what's really good with you though?
Yeah, man. I'm just feeling great about this album. You know, that dropped September 1st. Dude, it's just been crazy finally to get this work of art that I've had kind of been working on for like 2 years. Just been sitting on a lot of this music, and it just feels good to finally get it out there and get good feedback back as well, you know? Like, that was the main thing. Like, I just love, like, and appreciate, like, people who truly listen in and, like, look forward to it and get some out of it. So, yeah, I've been feeling good about it.
So now let me ask you, and here comes the first question. Now, with that being said, do you feel like you have the proverbial weight off of your shoulders now that you finally put out your first studio album, your debut album from everybody out there to check out?
Yeah, I definitely feel a little bit of relief, just like because I've just wanted to release that music for so long, but I knew it had to be complete. I had to wait for the other tracks and such. So then finally, now that it's all out, like, it does feel like a relief. I feel like I'm in more, like, creatively could do other things and feel like more free and not have that tied to me and like the whole build up and everything. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit of relief, but the work doesn't stop. Like, I'm already on the next thing. So.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. And I understand, you know, before, you know, you had the chance to officially release your project, Peep, and we're going to, you know, talk in depth about that here tonight as well. I understand you ran into a few hiccups, man, with that situation, man. So take us through what's going on with that.
Yeah, so, you know, so I use United Masters, which is a distribution company, popular one. Definitely not the best. No shade, but it's just facts at this point. It's like, dude, for like the last like year of my releases or year or two, I've had some sort of issue, whether it was like the cover art or the title, stuff like that. And it's like, but with this album, the whole thing, it got ridiculous. So when I thought of the people, what it was gonna be, it was just gonna be people. And so it's actually the people now, because United Master is telling me I cannot use the words people as my album. Couldn't even put it together. Like, it couldn't be space, it couldn't be not space. I tried everything. And then I tried Astro World just to see, because I tried everything. I was like, if I put Astro World right now, I wonder if it will work. And then it worked. Then I'm like, oh no, I wasn't supposed to submit that actually. So then I had to unsubmit it, and yeah. And then that went on for weeks, but yeah, all sorts of stuff with that. Then I finally got that, right? Finally they accepted the people after I emailed them about it, like complaining, like, why can't I use it? And then they're like, oh, it looks like it's accepted. And they answer like 5 days later. I'm like, oh, good to know. So finally the title was accepted, right? No, this is crazy, dude. It sucked so bad. And I was all scared. I'm like, oh, it's going to be pushed back now. And I already said it, or I was going to say it. Like, I was just so sick of it, you know? I just wanted it to be out, and I was sick of the bullshit that fucking United Masters does every time. But yeah, so then the title was accepted, and then after that, it was, oh, I had a sample issue. So why wasn't that brought up in the first 4 times I submitted this album? And the sample was never an issue. But on the 5th time, when they accepted the title, the sample was pointed out. So I had to take that out of the intro. It was like a Lana Del Rey sample. It was from like some movie in the 70s or something. 70s or 80s. And I didn't even know that was a sample from anything. So I just took it out of the beginning. Luckily, it wasn't in like the whole beat.
So now let me ask you, with that
sample, it just gave me a lot of trouble.
With that sample situation, was that something that was disclosed by the producer, or was that something that you guys just added in at the last minute, that you was aware what it was going to be, but you just decided to add it at the last minute? Like, how did that happen?
So the sample was originally already on this beat, from it's Beats by Luke. I'm pretty sure it was him. Yeah. Okay. It's Beats by Luke. Yeah. And he sent me a whole pack, and I just heard that. I opened this one up, and I just instantly knew. I'm like, this is the beginning to my project. Like, this beat right here, this has to be the intro. I just saw it all ahead, and yeah, they had already had the sample on it. So, and I just didn't know that. Like, I didn't know it was from something. I thought it was like a synth he, like, you know, created or used, whatever. Like, I didn't think anything of it. So that was like, it was new news to me when I tried to put it out.
Yeah. That's one of the tricky parts about this business that I've learned over the years, is that when it comes down to the samples, especially in a lot of places, you know, like YouTube, and now a lot of these independent distribution companies, you got to be mindful of the fact that, you know, the samples are in the songs because of the copyright situations. Now, not to say that it's any fault of the distribution company itself, because, you know, they got to protect themselves legally as well when it comes to, you know, having the samples and stuff like that. But that's another thing, like, you know, when it comes to these, you know, producers, and that's one of the things I kind of like get a little bit irritated about, is like, when you know that your song has a sample in it and it could be a potential problem, don't you think it'd be in the best interest of all parties involved to let them know that there's a sample in this particular record, so that way if there's a case where you have to get it cleared, you can already take care of that prior to your release? What you think?
Right. And this was my first time going around with actually releasing a project, like, you know, on the streaming platforms and everything. So this was definitely a learning curve. I learned a whole lot in this process, especially with that. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, he should have told me, because I didn't know personally. I, you know what's funny? I don't know if he knew. Like, where did he get that sample from? So, like, you know, there's a bunch of websites with all sorts of samples and for free, but who knows where they, like, did they make that? Did they steal it from somebody else? Like, you know?
That's true.
Crazy.
Now let me ask you, has that changed your perspective on using beats that may have samples included in them, or you're going to still continue to rock out just now that you have that experience? You just know what to do the next time going into a situation where a sample may present a problem when it comes to the release of a single or a project you may have.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be way more aware of like everything in regards to samples, beats, like just the whole process, like the legal process. That's the side I'm really just winging it. I don't really know too much about it, so I just been doing what I do, like just been releasing music on YouTube and SoundCloud, basically like my whole like upbringing kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm like leveling up in a way, I definitely have to keep that in mind, and clearly that was a problem here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try to stay away from like big samples like that. Like I didn't see, but that was crazy because I didn't even recognize it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't anything like throughout the beat. It was just like the intro. It was like made it very dramatic. Like it felt like a movie scene. Like it was all like nice and calm. It's like da 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 da, mm-hmm. da 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 da. Like it was, and then it just comes in boom boom with the bass. Like I just knew that should have been the intro, but so I was kind of pissed that I couldn't use that, but it's all good. Song is what it is anyway.
No doubt. Now, with that being said, do you have plans to release the original version, like say independently without going through a distribution?
Oh yeah, for sure. I might actually do that tonight. Now you say that, you just kind of gave me an idea, EMillio. You're my guy.
See, you know what? Now I want 1% of anything you make from that. Say, nah, I'm messing with you. Nah, man, but you know, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, man. I like to, you know, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm a industry guru or know the music business like the back of my hand. But if I could give, you know, some kind of, you know, advice or some kind of, you know, idea that'll help an artist be successful, man, you know, I'm all for that. You know, this is what this is about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean? Nah, you've been around, man. Like, you do know a good amount, and you put in your time and your work. So I appreciate that and respect it. So.
No doubt, man. I appreciate that as well. So when you do that, man, you got to send that over here to me so that way I can make sure I can put it out there so people can hear the original intro that you had in mind. You know what I'm saying? Because like over here, you know, we definitely make sure we blast that. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much different. It's not like it's like the original is technically what, like 15, 20 seconds longer with just, you know, the sample, which is dope. But yeah, it's not like more lyrics or anything, just full one.
Okay, nah, it's all good. It's all good. You know, sometimes, you know, people fail to realize, like, you know, this is one thing that used to blow my mind all the time when, you know, I would listen to music. Because when we first hear songs, if you're not, you know, familiar with the mixtape circuit, you always go to the radio because that's where you're gonna hear most of the new music that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So like when you hear the songs that go into the radio, you're gonna hear the edited versions or you're gonna hear the radio friendly versions. So it's not gonna sound the same as the original. So like, you know, I'll give you an example of that. You know, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice. When I first heard it back in '92 when it first came out, if I'm not mistaken, if I got the dates wrong out there, forgive me, please forgive me and correct me or whatever the case may be. But, you know, when I first heard it, it was on the radio and it was the radio friendly version. But then years later, when I got a chance to listen to the unedited version, I was like, yo, this sounds completely different from what the fuck I'm used to listening to over all these years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I understand.
Like in a good way? In a good way or a bad way?
I wouldn't say it was either in a good way or in a bad way, but it's just, you know, it's kind of embarrassing when you sing it along. Huh?
It was just different. Like,
yeah, you know,
because it was always edited. Yeah,
you know, but it is kind of embarrassing when you sitting there, you singing the original version that you heard first, which is the radio friendly version, and then you come to a certain word that is not in the original version, then you sitting there like, oh shit, the fuck, is this the same song? You know?
That's so funny, man. That's crazy. Times have changed. That's wild.
Times has definitely changed. True. Yeah, man, but you know, that's just what it is, man. It's definitely a different time with the music industry now. So with that experience that you've gained just with your own project, like how do you feel now when it comes to the music business, the way you look at it overall? Because I know you started off, it was more so as a hobby, And now that you're putting out, songs and projects on a distribution level, now you're starting to tap into the business side of it. So how do you feel about it?
It's a handful for sure. Like I'm not even doing all of the things that I need, like there's like the ISCR, what is that? The ISCR code, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know where do I get this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of like, it's almost like everything you think you figured out, there's always something like, oh, didn't know that either. Mm-hmm. But it's actually, I've learned a lot though in general. Like, I'm not trying to dumb myself down, but it is still a lot to learn. So it's definitely overwhelming, the business side of things for sure.
Now
that's right. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
That's where managers and people like that, I'm like, oh, this is why people literally have people do this shit for them. Like, it makes so much sense, like, but that's, they gotta get paid, you gotta be like a stature or something. But so a good manager that should be able to take care of that. That'd be nice for sure. But right now I gotta do it on my own to get to it, and some of the homies too help out a little bit as well.
Now, there's a catch-22 when it comes to a manager, because most of the times, when you're the artist and your job is solely to create these projects, you want to focus mostly on that. So I always, like to, give caution to artists who look to hire managers, especially early on in their career. There's nothing wrong with that, to me at least. Some other people may beg to differ and have a different opinion on it, and I understand, because everybody sees things differently. So I may see it as, I will wait until things really take off to the point where I feel as though I need a manager to handle certain elements and avenues that I'm not ready to handle or I don't feel like handling. But then again, like when you do that, it's like you got to choose the right people, because if you choose people that are only there to see whatever they can benefit from it and not really look out for you and your best interest, it can come back to hurt you a lot more than what you imagine,
Yeah, that's so true. No, for real. And exactly what you said. Like, I'm not talking like right now, like I need it right now. Like, nah, honestly, I don't. Like, I got it on my own for now, but like, hopefully, if I could take things, which I'm planning to do, take things to a bigger level, like, I'm probably gonna need a manager for sure. But yeah, dude. But the whole thing is exactly, you gotta have the good people. It's like, you really gotta trust them, and like, they gotta be actually about you, not just trying to, get paid and such.
Yeah, true.
And that's hard to find.
that is true, man. And take words from the great John Catsimatidis. He is the owner-operator of a radio station here in New York called WABC 770 WABC Radio, and I just read his book called How Far Do You Want to Go? And one of the things he says, like, it's always good to have people that know more than you or smarter than you around you to be successful when it comes to running business. So with that being said, in this next question I'm about to ask you, you're the first person that I've ever asked, and it's just a question that just came to mind. But I want to know, what do you feel as though, like, what is your idea of the perfect manager for your situation?
Ooh, I definitely, like, they would kind of be almost in charge and like a reminder for me for certain things. Like, one, be on top of it. Two, like, roll out my content, like kind of take a hold of the social media thing. That would be nice to have someone else, like, clip up stuff and like little things like that. If I'm busy or whatever, just like whenever they, like, if in the time span that I need it, like, it'd be nice to have someone kind of run a social thing a little bit or help with it. What else would make a good manager? Book shows. Gotta have like an in with the bookies and stuff like that, and or the booking agents. I'm sorry. Yeah, the booking agents, like, they gotta have some connections. That's definitely a part of a good manager for sure, if you're trying to book shows. What else? Just on top of things, like, into my creation, into my art, like, not like, if they actually like my music or understand me as a person, treat everybody with respect, treat me with respect, like don't get cocky and stuff like that. Just be a normal dude and do, you know, what the person really needs, and that's it. And, you know, the social media and the money thing. I mean, not the money thing, I'm sorry. The show thing is very important, for sure.
Now, when you do get to that point of success, which I've told you before, I do see that happening in your immediate future, whether it's sometime this year, next year, or whatever, within the next 5. When you get to that point, will you hire yourself a team that'll take care of everything? So the only thing that you have to do is just worry about creating and performing your best when you go and you do these shows?
If it's affordable.
Good answer.
Like straight up. Literally. That's it. Like if I can afford it and if it's beneficial for me, and needed, I don't see why not. But the main thing is if it's affordable, and who knows if that will be the case, you know. It's not about the money for me. Like if you make it about the money, like right off the jump, you're never gonna really get anywhere, because you're just gonna be focused on why you're not making money and not focused on like what people truly would love and like benefit from what you're trying to sell, you know. Or whatever it is in business. Like that's what I was taught, like in my business ethics class. Like don't focus on the money, like focus on your creation of what you're trying to sell, and the money will come, you know.
You know what, you're right about that one.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
You're absolutely right. You know, I've been reading a lot here lately. You know, I've been trying to get on my bookworm shit, especially when it comes to, you know, wanting to run businesses, become a better businessman, and also improve on what I do and what I offer and bring to the table when it comes to the hip hop community. And that's something, you know, a lot of us, you know, especially a lot of people out there right now that may be listening that have come from adverse situations or not so promising backgrounds. You know, we go into situations, sometimes we get a little farsighted, thinking about the money more so than the dream. And that makes me go back to the movie Notorious, when Derek Luke portrayed, you know, the role of Puffy in that movie. He said, don't chase the money, chase the dream. You know what I'm saying? And like that made me think about that particular line, because it's like, you know what, you're right. And then I hear a lot of these, you know, famous entrepreneurs and a lot of these, you know, billionaires and millionaires, they always talk about it wasn't the money that motivated them, it was their why, their reason for doing what it was that brought them that success. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, a lot of us, we tend to get caught up in just wanting to see the immediate gratifications in the form of money. But over the course of time, it's like you got to learn to appreciate the journey before you get to the finish line, you know?
Exactly that, man. Exactly. And that's kind of how I've been, like, that's kind of how I always felt, like, especially with this whole music thing. Like, I can't, like, obviously I'm not going to be able to make money right now. And you know what's funny? So many people always ask, like, oh, have you ever made anything off of it yet? Oh, you make anything yet? I'm like, nah, that's not the, like, that's not the point right now. Why am I expecting to make money? I haven't even made enough fans yet to make money, you know? Like, yeah, I gotta be real about it. Like, people, I don't know, sometimes people don't get that. It's like, the money is hard. Like, being an artist, unless you're big and taking off, like, you're not really getting much in unless you're selling merch, and, you know. But right now, like, yeah, no, I don't. I think I might have made my first $50 off streaming, actually, but I haven't taken it out of, you know, masters yet.
Right.
If that makes anyone feel a little bit better, finally made my first 50.
So let me ask you, how many? Because we know, like, the streaming services, they are not really known for paying a lot of money when it comes to the streams. In fact, I think they pay out fractions of pennies, a lot of these different platforms. So, like, how many streams did you have to amass in order to earn your first $50 from streaming, if you don't mind me asking?
I think right now, what is it? I think it's like 38K. No. Or 38 or 35K or something like that.
Wow.
35K total streams. But I don't know if that even makes sense, but that's not just Spotify. You gotta think There's Apple Music, YouTube, all that stuff too.
So a collective of 35K streams from multiple platforms earned you $50.
Yes.
Wow. So how do you feel about that as an independent artist that puts all your work, all your heart and soul into your work and just not only accumulate that? I mean, I understand it's not about the money right now, but just seeing how the game is right now when it comes to the streaming, has that made you think about, possibly getting into the realm of, I don't know, maybe doing something different, like, creating a website and distributing your music from there?
Possibly, see, that's one of those things too. Like, I'm just so kind of like, I gotta do more work like the fundamentally right now. So like, websites, like, and then I think about it too. You gotta think about it from a consumer perspective. Like, who's gonna, like, I know not everybody's gonna go on my website to go get my music. Like if it's on Spotify and Apple and all those other platforms. That's like, that's what people use. Like, I can't change the market with my website. So I don't think that would be my best interest, but like, obviously in the future, I will have my own website for sure to get my music on. But I mean, the streaming thing, I just kind of accepted it at this point. If you're an artist, you got to accept it. You're making shit off streams.
Man. So let me ask you.
Well, obviously, less the big numbers, but
right.
I mean, independent, local.
Now let me ask you, because I remember the first time when you was on the show, and it was during the time when physical copies was still the same. Was still the thing when it comes to the way people consume their music. To now, where you see like the streaming companies have pretty much put a chokehold on the way music is distributed and also the way music gets listened to these days. Like, more people are going to streaming than they're coming to like radio shows and podcasts and these types of platforms to hear new music. How do you feel as though like streaming has affected hip hop from an artist perspective, being now that you're getting your foot in the door with the actual business side of it?
It's watered it down so much. It watered everything down. It took all like the classic feel to everything. Like, it took away like the fun. Like, people used to run into Best Buy and, record stores to go get new albums that just came out. People lining up the door. What was it with 50 Cent and Kanye, right? Was that them or was it 50 Cent and Snoop that both dropped the same day? And who was gonna?
Oh no, that was 50 and Kanye.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like that. No, when has that happened? It's like with streaming. It's like that has never happened anymore. That won't. Half of CDs aren't even in stores now.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a good amount, but it's kind of watered it down. Like, especially with playlisting too. Playlisting has watered everything down immensely. So you can't even tell what's like a paid playlist. What, like, there's a million playlists called hottest new hip hop on Spotify. It's like,
right.
Like people gotta get more creative. Like then you go and click on it. It's a bunch of like, it makes it harder to like discover much about the artist. Like opposed to before. CDs that had the pages. I mean, well, no, I don't want to say streaming takes away from discovering. We have so much social media that doesn't matter, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like, it just watered down, took away a lot of the old school fun. I can't believe it's old school now, though. It wasn't that long ago.
Right. I mean, I share that sentiment with you because it kind of reminds me of the way music sounds right now. Like, people take the same formula or the same style that made somebody else successful, and you got 1,000,001 rappers out there that's running with the same flow, the same cadence, the same type of sound when it comes to the music nowadays. That's where we stand at an impasse right now with so many people within the music industry and also within the hip-hop culture, is they feel as though like the music just sounds too much of the same. So I can understand exactly where it's coming from, speaking on behalf of the playlisting and stuff like that, where you got so many people that they see one playlist that's getting so many streams from different people being labeled this, and then here they go now, they trying to copy that, and everybody's trying to do the same thing. That's one of the problems I have right now with this modern society, especially when it comes to social media, is social media kind of encourages that kind of behavior and copying everybody else's and not trying to be original or try to do something that stands out from the rest of the crowd, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like monkey see, monkey do society nowadays. Everyone wants what's easiest. Everyone wants I'm sure it's always been a thing, like to want what's cool and like what's in. That's always been a thing. But now it's so, like with social media, everyone's trying to be like the person with the most likes, the most followers, you know? It's all, everyone's basically trying to duplicate the one that came before them, like you said. So I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad in a way, you know? It's like, and that's where I stand on as an artist. Like, I'm always trying to come different, and I mentioned that in so many of my songs. Like, I'm trying to differentiate myself. I'm not trying to sound like any of you, none of you. I don't like. I'm not you. I'm not trying to sound like you. You know. So.
Thank you for that. Please don't try to sound like nobody else.
Yes.
Yeah. Please don't try to sound like nobody else, man. Huh?
Because and you gotta think about it like this, like think about who your favorite artists are. Like, did every single one of their songs sound the same? Like, hopefully not. Like, and do they try to differentiate yourself? Like, look at all the greats, they're a little bit different, you know? Like they're not trying to be, there's a reason why they're them, as opposed to everyone now like trying to be the new Young Thug. You know, when Migos popped off, everyone's trying to rap like Migos. And then when Thug popped up, everyone's trying to rap like Thug. Cardi, oh my God, the Cardi shit. That shit's annoying. Any rapper out there still trying to be like Cardi, just please stay in the shadows on SoundCloud where you belong. That shit is over with, bro.
I mean,
he tried. He's still the only Cardi. He's still the only one. You're still not him.
No, I was talking about SoundCloud. Like, SoundCloud is still a very valuable, you know, a viable platform for artists, you know, that are looking to get their music out there.
No, that was no diss to SoundCloud.
Okay.
Yeah, no diss to SoundCloud. That was a diss to you. All you want to be Playboy Cardis. I don't get it.
Right now, I respect that.
Why do you want to sound like that?
I respect that, man. You know, because the thing is, like, you know, I remember there was a time where, you know, people will call another rapper a SoundCloud rapper as a means to like diss them when it comes to it, because, you know, most artists was putting their music on SoundCloud, and I'm like, yo, like, so many good talents have got discovered on that platform. So I'm like, I don't understand the shade these days when it comes to people that speak bad on, you know, SoundCloud. You know, not saying that you are, I'm just saying in general. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I am a victim to that, bro. Like, everyone used to like, dude, oh, you're a SoundCloud rapper? Oh, what is he? I felt like girls always said that, you know? Oh, what's he, a SoundCloud rapper? Like, that was like a trend. Like, that's like a goat. Like, if a younger kid makes music, like as a rapper or hip hop artist, whatever, like a girl's go-to thing is like, oh, a SoundCloud rapper. Like, that's what I'm called. Like, no, I'm just a rapper. I'm not just a SoundCloud. Like, what? Right. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like they're throwing shade. It's like, what do you mean? It's a website to post music on. The fuck.
Like, no, I'm a rapper. It doesn't matter where I distribute my music at. I'm a rapper. Like, there's a difference, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, like, that's one of those things I used to, like, really... Go ahead.
I heard that for years, bro.
Yeah, man, like, I don't rap as much as I used to, but, you know, I remember there was a time when, you know, I used to hear that stuff where people trying to degrade artists by calling them SoundCloud rappers. Even nowadays when I hear it, I get a little offended by it, because I'm like, you know what? Why call somebody that because they're doing something that you don't want to do? And I understand a lot of it is because, you know, you got so many whack people out here, you know, they feel as though that they can demean anybody by calling them a SoundCloud rapper, and it's going to discourage that person from making music. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you can't sit there and use that same title to insult good artists such as yourself and other artists out there who has actually came up. Even some of your favorite artists out here nowadays came up using SoundCloud. So I'm like, I don't really understand the notion that people feel as though you're insulting somebody by calling them a SoundCloud rapper, you know?
Exactly, bro. Nah, for real. It's who, like, exactly what you said. All the artists that have blown up. Chance the Rapper. Who else? Or no, was it Chance?
Yeah,
no,
Chance.
so many. You know, Trippy, X. Yeah, X. You know, the list goes on and on. SoundCloud is not bad, but there's definitely a certain culture. Like, SoundCloud's interesting. I feel like I never truly tapped into, like, I don't know. I never fully got, like, I always was so curious. I'm like, how does this song have like 5 million streams like in like 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like from a kid that's like has like 100 followers, 200 followers. You know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of like TikTok in a way, almost, with that algorithm or something. I don't know.
Hey,
I never understood it.
I'm gonna share with
but
you.
I always release music on SoundCloud.
Well, with that one, what you saying, like, how is it that somebody gets 5 million plays from just only having 100 followers? I'm gonna share with you the secret that's kind of out in the open that everybody already knows. You can go on SoundCloud and you can pay for plays. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's where you're gonna get those people that, you know, when it doesn't match up, when the numbers don't add up, or as we like to say, the math ain't mathing, and you see, like, you know, 5 million streams off of this just having 100 people, and you're not really getting a whole lot of notifications and interactions on the songs. A lot of that just comes from these people just going out there, they spending the money, and they're getting the streams. You know, they paying for it.
Yeah, no, straight up. And that's crazy because more people, so many artists, like, probably almost every artist does it. Like, all the big ones, you know, half of those streams are, you know, amped up a little bit. Gotta be. But yeah, that's the whole thing about streaming too that's ruined it. Like, the numbers, so many fake numbers, so much fake plays, so much fake shit. People, like, I have paid for playlisting myself before. I have paid for it. But I haven't done that probably in 2 years, because also because it's like, I think one of the times I did it, I noticed, because I was checking on the United Masters to see where the plays were coming from. 3 of the times that I did the playlist thing, it was good. Like, it was real. Like, it was every single different state. Like, it was different. I got actually a few followers on Instagram and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then one of the times, I went and listened. I went and looked. It was like 8,000 streams. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, what the hell? But then I went and looked where they all were from. India. I'm like, yo, I don't do, like, nah, I'm not rocking with this. Like, if it's not real people listening to it, or like fake playlists and like bot playlists, like, I'm not about it. So I haven't done that yet. I'm not doing that with the album. I'm just keeping it all organic and trying to do it like that, you know?
Oh yeah. You know,
I want to see who my fans really are.
Right. You know, the organic approach to me, you know, even though it's the toughest way to go, it's always the best, because those are the people that are going to come back when you put out something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have an audience that's bought and paid for, you know, the people that really know what to look for, they're going to find that out and they're going to see it. And it's going to devalue your music. Whereas if you got that organic following where people is commenting on your songs and, you know, they leaving you messages and stuff that you could really go back, that is tangible, that you could show proof that this person is listening over here, this person over here is listening. You're going to have more of a following then by being organic, and a much better real following than what you will have if you go and pay for them. Because I always say, you know, I always stress this point a lot to, you know, new and up and coming artists. Focus on building your core fan base, because no matter what you put out, those are going to be the ones that's going to be checking for it. So you could have 100 people, you know, as your core audience. You know, that's going to be 100 people right there that's going to support whatever project that you're going to put out. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I always tell people it's better to go the long route, you know, and try to build an organic following than trying to fake it till you make it by buying views, buying plays, buying, you know, followers and stuff of that nature, you know?
For real. And that's exactly what I'm kind of on, you know, like I said. But, and one thing too, I do agree with not buying, but like investing money into putting your music out there more, right?
Yeah.
So like there's a difference between, you know, like buying fake streams, like or using fake playlists, etc., right?
Mm-hmm.
And then but then investing into getting, you know, your song on a big website, big blog, you know, that's all cool. Like as long as you know that's not bots, whatever platform you're trying to push it on, or for example, YouTube videos, like you pay to promote them more, have them pop up more places, like any other business. Like that's what's up. Like the fake playlisting, that shit, and the fake streams, that shit is ruining music.
Yeah, that's what an actual marketing campaign is. You know, you go to those certified platforms that you know have a real following and have a real, you know, way of moving whatever it is that you're trying to promote. There's nothing wrong with investing in what you're doing, because you know when you are in this space, yes, you gotta pay for the marketing, you know what I'm saying? So like it's best to go that route and pay for the marketing than it is going to be to go and buy followers and try to perpetrate to make you seem like you're this big of an artist when you're really not, you know?
Right. And that's what I learned. Like that's what I realized. Like it's like I understand where a lot of upcoming artists go that route and fake it till they make it. I get it. Don't get me wrong, it's crossed my mind, but just me as a person, like I feel like a clown. Like why would I like nah, I'm not doing it like that. Like cause you know, people know me too. It's like, oh, everyone's that I know is gonna know that it's not really popping like that. Like obviously these 1 million plays that I could purchase from somewhere, you know, people are gonna know that ain't real. And that's just like a bad look in a way too. Like I'm trying to represent who I really am, and that wouldn't be that.
You have integrity, it seems.
Yeah,
that's
for
good.
Sure. Yeah. As most people should, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, with that,
I get it though.
Right. So now let me ask you, you know, with that being said, in regards to, you know, us talking about, you know, streaming platforms, marketing and stuff like that of that nature, you know, now that, you know, streaming is in the pockets of damn near everybody that has a smartphone in their hand, I want to ask to you now, like, do you still feel as though like platforms like this and other ones that's out there that, you know, look to promote and push, you know, up and coming artists, unsigned artists, indie artists, do you still feel as though that these types of platforms are of value, especially when you got, you know, like so many streaming platforms and playlists and social media such as TikTok out there on the board now?
Oh, for sure. Like, this is awesome to do something like this. I'm so glad that you have your platform. And once I found it, I checked it out, and I fell in love with this real dope platform. To keep it real, you're the exact guy that should be having the platform. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But yeah, no, it's beneficial. It's beneficial because it's like I get to come up and talk to you. You know, you get to hear about me and learn where I come from. I learn some things from you. We have a good conversation. Other people get to check it out, and, you know, they can learn something from this conversation too, which is hopefully a goal as well. And but yeah, no, I love like platforms like this, you know, like, because who else is, all the other platforms, like big main platforms, they don't mess with people unless they got 1 million followers, 50K, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like phony. It has to be a criteria. This is more organic and real. So I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate that, man. And I ask because, you know, a little biased, you know, when it comes down to it, because, you know, a lot of us that have platforms like this, we always try to encourage, you know, artists to come here first before they try to get that big 50,000 budget to go and do a whole radio run or whatever. And in most cases, like, you know, they go pay that money, but then where they at a couple of years from now? You know what I'm saying? So you just wasted 50,000 on a platform that, you know, maybe you only get your song heard once over there. Whereas you have platforms like this, you know, if you get good with the host or whatever the case may be, or if your music is just genuinely that dope, they're gonna fuck with it. And then on top of that, you know, you bring your fans over there, the people that are already listening to that platform. If they enjoy your music, they're gonna come rock with you. So now you're gonna gain new fans from going onto that platform and whatnot. And then it's just one of those things that kind of helps each other. But it's like everybody's so in a rush to be number one or so in a rush to be famous, like, overnight success, which is really unheard of in the music industry, no matter how many people try to argue it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it helps everybody out. And I'm like, I try to be the voice in the wilderness, crying this out each and every time, but it's like, people don't listen to the message. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And like, that's the whole thing too. People oh wait, well, sorry, my bad, bro.
No, you go.
You can cut this out.
No, you go.
Wait, what was it? Dude, I just literally just lost my train of thought so fast. I'm so pissed.
Now we were talking about platforms.
You were just saying.
We were just talking about the fact that
the platform. Yeah. Oh yeah, and people trying to get on the bigger ones, right?
Yeah.
Right. All right, I'm good. Sorry about that.
Now you good.
Are we restarting?
All right, go ahead. Now.
Yeah, and going on to like a raw, smaller, or well, not smaller in a sense of the quality though. Like, it doesn't matter how many followers the interviewer platform, the radio show has. It's a radio show. You should get on that. Take every opportunity you have, like I did with you, and it ended up being a really cool thing, and I enjoyed it. And it's exactly I can learn from too. I'm not trying to. And like, you got to start small. Like, you got to know your place, and that's something I emphasize. You got to know where you are in your career, and I know where I am, and I know I got to keep getting these small wins and keep doing these little interviews, no matter how many followers, whatever it has, and keep pushing out content, doing little TikToks, posting freestyles, and just keep dropping music, and that's all you can do. Just keep giving your fans what they want, and try to put out, reach out to certain people that you would want to hear your music or have big connections. It doesn't hurt to shoot your shot.
Absolutely.
Like, obviously, you're not gonna DM Birdman and be like, yo, check me out. Like, don't be one of those dudes.
Nah, some of those guys actually listen though. Some of those guys actually do respond, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the odds are slim though. You know what I mean? Like, but Sway too. Sway in the morning.
Yeah,
dude, he
shout out to Sway
on Instagram. He's been following me. Yeah, dude. I forgot him.
I love Sway.
Example.
He's one of my influences, yo. I love that man, yo. No doubt about that. Sway is definitely one of my biggest influences and inspirations, no doubt.
Yeah, Sway's the GOAT, but that's a perfect example. Like, he found me off of me rapping on a Biggie beat in one of my buddy's basements, like when I was like 14, 15. And because we tagged like Sway in the morning. He's like, we'd all watch that. We'd see that's not as popular anymore too. And I find that weird, like watching freestyles. Like, XXL is trash now. Like, no one can, like the integrity of XXL has just got so bad over the last like 6 years that no one really cares for it, and it's crazy. Like, that's where the integrity and like the watered down stuff like comes into play. But yeah, little platforms like you guys are the reason, like, what indie artists, like small indie artists, are like growing, like, should be doing. Like, what's wrong with it?
And it's not also just the lack of integrity and the fact that the game is oversaturated and watered down. You also just got people out there, just attention spans are shorter these days.
Yeah, facts. It's crazy how much social media has changed, like, people, as a whole, like how we do things. No one wants to read a book anymore. Like, I don't want to, like, it's hard to even sit through a show. It's hard to watch a football game because I'm on my phone. And I'm like, wait, I get pissed at myself. I put it down. Like, I'm trying to watch the game. Like, we're all addicted to this shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is true. But with the Peephole record, the Peephole album and everything like that, it's out there right now. It's making this noise and all that stuff like that. And, in contrast to everything that we were just been talking about, I want to ask, because it's something that just came up and I want to know. With that being said, what do you feel like you will value more? And I'm pretty sure I know your answer to this already, but I'm going to still ask the question anyway. So what do you think you will value more? Bought and paid for success that'll take you to the top for a short time, or knowing that you worked and you grind hard for the success that you would obtain, and that it's long lasting. It's not just like a short 2 to 3 year run being successful.
I'll take the marathon every time, bro. Every time, for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, I hate doing, like, that would be awful, like, just to have, and you've seen it ruin people, you know? You've seen it ruin people just from blowing up so hard and then them not being able to handle it mentally or, like, workability, like, creatively, whatever, drugs, you name it, like, something happens and it sucks and then they go broke and then things get worse. I don't want to be that guy for sure. Like, you know, I try to keep my head at a level area, so.
Now, I feel you, man, because, you know, sometimes they say, like, you know, as fast as you obtain things, you can lose it just as fast. So, you know, there's definitely, I definitely understand that sentiment when you know, put it in those terms. But with, you know, people, like, what has been, like, the buzz that you've gotten so far with it? Like, for the people out there that's listening to it, like, what has been the feedback you've gotten from it?
So every all the feedback has been real good. Like, everyone's, like, thoroughly impressed. You know, just, like, people, like, comments on, like, the production, the sound. A lot of people like the concept and the idea of it and, like, the meaning behind it. I think that is very interesting to others, and that was the whole point. You know, I want to make it something cool, not just like an album with like pain too. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to get real creative with it and express how I was feeling so enclosed off to people, and I wanted to give that peephole perspective and, like, finally deliver what needed to be delivered when people look through it, and that's listening to the album. So, but yeah, I got a lot of good feedback on the idea of it, and everybody's rocking with the Cranberry track, man. Like, everyone's just like that. Like, that was one of the main songs, because I went around and I asked a lot of, like, my homies. I texted them. I was like, you had a gun to your head right now, and you had to pick one song off my album, or the gun goes, like, literally some, like, dramatic shit, and they're all like, what the fuck, dude? And they're like, but then they'd answer, you know? Cranberry was, I think, the most voted. Stories, a lot of people like stories off it. You know, there's a few. Has been. That's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah, I'm fucking with Has Been.
Has Been. Oh, hell yeah. See, that was a sleeper track to me. To me, the whole album process, I'm like, this is the one, like, I don't know what people are gonna fuck with. I don't know why. Like, I knew it was hard. Like, I knew, like, it was just like it was kind of like a fuck you to, like anyone, like, you know, like, not supporting, hating, whatever you want to call it. Like, just, like, thinking I'm a has-been, like, people that used to support. It was kind of like a song for the people that used to support me, that don't support me anymore, or don't show it, whatever, however you want to call it. It, like, however I feel, it shows. But yeah, I was kind of like, oh, like, you think I'm a has-been, but like, and that was just me going off, doing my thing, and having fun with it. Like, that was like a fun track to me. I didn't take it too serious.
I can definitely hear
cool to hear.
Yeah, I can hear the passion in that song Has Been that was coming out from you as you was rapping. I'm like, yeah, this is something a little personal. It's not like you just having a song just, you know, kind of like, you know, dancing around the older folks or whatever the case may be. I'm like, that kind of sounds a little personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, now you say that, see, I'm, like, numb to my own, like, feelings, you know? It's like, now that you say that, I'm like, oh yeah, like, I did actually have, like, at the end there where I pick up and I really did come from a personal place. I guess you're right. Guess you're right.
And another song that I was fucking with too from off of there, Small Town. You know, that one right there was a little more like, you got a little personal also with that one. It's like you touched on some elements of your life that I haven't heard in other songs. You know, I've heard a few of your songs prior, you know, to, you know, listening to the whole people. You know, some of them are, you know, notable that have been on, you know, the show before that you sent from the first time or whatever the case may be. And just, like, listening to that one, I'm like, yo, this one right here sounds like All right, you're starting to get into like you're tapping into another stratosphere of your artistry when it comes down to it. Now you're talking about more of the personal stuff that happened in your life and past experiences than what you hear on like any other tracks. Like going forward, do you see that as a direction that you may take with your next project, or are you looking to stay with what you've been doing so far, which has been working for you?
Yeah, that's the exact path I'm going on right now. I've already been on it, behind the scenes. I've been trying to make more personal stuff, and I think this album too. That's kind of what I was doing, but like I said, it's the peephole perspective. You're not getting it all, but like you're getting a little bit. And I also want to have like a high energy, like banger vibe too, like not something that's not as like not as serious in a way. Like I can like, make it like enjoyable and like kind of could be played in any instance, not at certain times or whatever. Because if I'm talking about like personal stuff, like I'll make sure like people hear it. And that was Small Town. Like I appreciate you saying all that. That meant a lot. But yeah, definitely. There's a few tracks. I think one of my next singles coming out is definitely like a good, like, it's like a relatable feel. Like it has a lot of emotion and it's like real and it's personal and it's relatable. So I definitely try to make more personal music and tap into, like my real inner thoughts and like my past experiences that might not be so great,
No doubt about that. So what's next for you, man? We already know that you're in the process of going on to, work on your next project. You're going to let this one get a chance to breathe a little bit before you start, really like getting into it, or you just going to keep, boots on the ground and just going full speed ahead?
I'm gonna let it breathe a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna stay promoting it though. Like okay. I'm not just gonna like drop I'm gonna like stay on top of it. Like you'll see it. I'll stay posting on Instagram, doing my reels, making sure everyone hears the tracks, reaching out to people. I got a few music videos I gotta do, so that's coming up too. So there's more things. Like this album isn't like I'm trying. It may seem it at some certain points, but like no, this album's gonna keep getting promoted. And also, I'd say I give it another month or two, and I think I'm gonna drop something else. So
okay.
I'm gonna promote it, but it's not gonna be much breathing room, but it'll be a little.
So you have like a schedule pretty much for like the type of releases you want to do. Like you want to put this one out, it's your debut album, then you want to just follow that up immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I have I kind of been lining it up for a while now, so I already got my next two singles lined up for sure. So I got those written. Sorry.
No. You go. I ain't want to stop you in the middle of your thought. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I got them all written down. Got the verses tight, hooks good. I just gotta go to the studio. I think I'm doing so many things. I got another EP with my boy, Source Base / Prospect. I got so many things at once. I'm doing another EP with Viper Beats, the dude that produced Cranberry, and another track of mine he produced on that as well. Can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but yeah, I'm gonna do another EP with him, like 4 or 5 tracks. He already sent me the beats. Oh, they're so fire. Yeah, I'm all over the place, but I'm getting it done.
Nah, I hear you, man. You definitely get the work in while you got the opportunity, man, because burnout is real. So, definitely make sure you take some time for yourself also, man. Don't get so caught up in the work that you forget to enjoy life. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah,
and that was a part of like I was also relieved. That's why I was also relieved to like finally have the album out. Like, that was something I was going home every day, having to work on it. Well, not in a bad way. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, like I love music. I love making music. But yeah, like it just was like it's just like, can this just be out already? I just want people to hear it. I'm already sick of it. I've heard it so many times.
Right though. So now let me ask you. Suppose Peephole finds itself into the right hands, and they can push it a little bit further to actually take you to that next level in your career, what would you do then? Like, what would be the next move for you then? Would you still look to put out the albums or the projects that you have already planned? Or would you just still, just let it ride that wave, whatever, whoever hands it gets into and they carry you that far? What would you do?
Well, I would. Is there a way? Is it an either or? I think I could do both, right? Like I could like. I get what you're saying. I mean, I would love for this album to take, to get into the right hands. So, I mean, if the bigger opportunity comes, it comes. So I think I'd have to take the bigger opportunity, to be honest.
I mean, you say Sway follow you, man. Who knows? He might be calling you up soon. He get his hands on Peep. He might be calling you up, bringing you out to do 5 Fingers of Death, man. You never know.
Yo, that's crazy. I know. I hit him up, like, sometimes I have DM'd him a little bit too, like here and there, like once a year maybe. And yeah, he responded. But I sent him something. Oh, I sent him the Flavor in Your Ear, right? I sent him that. I figured he might appreciate it. Who knows if he will or who knows if he won't. But it's worth a shot since he follows me, right? I hit him up and he goes, all right, cool, I'll check it out, something like that. And I was like, he's gonna listen to it. And then I hit him up, I was like, hey, Sway. I was like, yo, sorry, not to bother. I was like, did you end up checking it out? He never answered. I'm like, I don't know if he did it. But,
yeah, no doubt. Who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, you'd be surprised, man. So many people might be out there actually looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, and that's one thing I've learned, people may be paying attention, but they won't let you know that they're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of those things. I never understood that, but I know that it happens. Because I remember one time, Mark Curry, who used to be on Bad Boys, he reached out to me out of the blue one day, and I'm like, yo, Mark Curry. I'm like, Bad Boys Mark Curry? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, how the hell did you hear about me? And he said, yeah, like, I just been Googling, mad fucking, radio shows. And then, your joint popped up, and then I got a chance to listen to you. Then, there's people in the industry that are familiar with your platform or whatever, even though they may not say nothing to you, but you got a lot of people watching you, man. Just know that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's true, because you never know who may reach out to you. Somebody just may be watching and waiting to see what you're going to do and how you're going to carry the situation before they feel as though, you know what, let me step in now and see if I can help carry them across that finish line,
Yo, that's facts, though. Nah, for real, that's facts. And that's something too, like, I gotta keep in mind as well. Like, sometimes it's hard to, like, not get in your head about, like, because I want it, obviously I want everyone in the world to listen to my music, I want as many people as possible. So, like, it can be frustrating for artists, like, to always be like thinking like, oh, like, I wish so-and-so would hear it, but exactly, you're right. Like that dude from Bad Boys, like, you're like, whoa, like, I didn't realize that. Yeah, you never know, exactly.
You never know.
And exactly, and to go back to what we were talking about like the smaller platforms, like how that actually is beneficial for all parties involved, and but like doing stuff like that only helps too. Like, name goes around, like things go around, like, I don't see what the problem would be. Like, it's just, you don't get discouraged by expecting, you want something more, but it is what it is, and just be happy with what you got.
No doubt about that, man. So final thoughts, man, before we get ready to wrap everything up, man. It's definitely been another dope conversation with you. And I appreciate the fact that you reached out to me again and was willing to come back here and talk your project and talk about your experiences, that you have gotten over the course of, preparing and putting out and releasing this project, Peep. And with that being said, last thoughts, like, where do you see yourself going now that you got yourself into the industry? You're getting a little experience of the business. You're seeing the good side and the bad side of it. Will you see yourself wanting to continue on this path, knowing now what you're seeing when it comes to like the business aspect of it?
I'm just gonna keep going, of course. The business side and business aspect of things, that's not, obviously, that's a part of anything, that's with any job. You're gonna get the ups and the downs, but it's as long as you're doing what you love to do, that's the main thing. So if I am able to do that, do this at such a high level, I'm making money enough to, have a house, all this sort of stuff, and do the things I want. I don't see why that the business aspect would stop that, so I'm cool with it. But I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm not, it's more than I expect, obviously, but I think I'm ready, so.
No doubt, man. Well, man, as always, it's always a pleasure when you ever stop by here and we get the opportunity to chop it up, man. And I want to say thank you once again for taking the time out to come join me once again here on the show. Definitely do appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sir.
Peep Poll is out right now. Definitely go get it. Put it in your playlist. Put it in your streaming deck. Whatever it is that you listen to music, make sure you get Peep Poll and add it to your collection of hip hop if you haven't done so yet. So I'm gonna let you get the final word, man. Any shout outs you want to give, or for the people out there that would like to get in contact with you, like to, follow you on social media, or even reach out to you to have you come on to their show, how can they make that possible?
Hell yeah. So thank you everybody that listened. Thank you, EMillio, for having me on again. It's always a good time with you. Yeah, man, go get the album, most importantly. Whatever you got, Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud. Don't forget about SoundCloud. Don't be dissing it now. Don't remember our conversation we had. SoundCloud's cool. It's cool. Yeah, whatever, YouTube, whatever you listen to, definitely check it out. It's a concept album. It's but it's bangers, it's what I've been working on for the past 2-3 years. So definitely worth a listen. It's J-FERR on all platforms. So, and then the people, and yeah, you can follow me on Instagram too at JFerr, JFERR_DG. And I think that's on my Twitter as well. So definitely go follow me on both of those, and we'll chat, we'll do whatever. Definitely check out the new album. That's most important. And thank you, EMillio, for having me on.
You're absolutely welcome. And I want to say thank you once again to each and every one of you out there who took the time out of your busy schedule to join us here tonight for this edition of the show. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at the EMillio EgBar. For anybody out there who is interested in getting themselves on this show as well, you can send me an email to letsnetworkmusically212@gmail.com. Or if you got music you want to send my way, man, just make sure it's in MP3 format only. letsnetworkmusically212@gmail.com. This has been an EJP Entertainment presentation, also brought to you by Nonstop Media Group. It's your boy EMillio EgBar, along with J Ferr. And y'all keep it locked and stay tuned, folks. We'll be back with much more right after this. Want to be heard on the Nonstop Radio Show? Send us your submissions in MP3 format at letsnetworkmusically212@gmail.com.
This is Nonstop Radio.